On August 21st, 2024, emergency physicians Jim Dahle and Christian Feinauer set off at 1 a.m. to climb the north face of the Grand Teton, a challenging route that they had wanted to climb for years. 6 hours later, having already ascended over 5,000 vertical feet on trails, boulders, scree, a crevasse-filled glacier, and several rope lengths of near-vertical rock, Jim found himself on the sharp end of the rope, well above his last piece of protection, on some of the loosest rock he had ever climbed. While reaching for the next hold, the mountain let go of him and he began to plummet. By the time Christian expertly arrested his fall, Jim had fallen 35 feet, smashing off several ledges, and was hanging upside down, unconscious, and leaking blood and cerebral spinal fluid from his head. With minimal regard to his own safety, Christian climbed to his side, carefully turned him upright, stopped the bleeding, and helped Jim to regain consciousness. Clearly severely head-injured and asking repetitive questions, Jim was in no condition to self-rescue, much less continue the climb. Christian secured them both to the mountain on a tiny ledge and pulled out his phone.
Hello?
Dispatch, this is Andrew.
Hey, this is Christian. So I'm on the north face of the Grand Teton with my friend Jim, and he just took a leader fall, hit his head, was unconscious for about 10 minutes or so. He's awake now, but very head injured, perseverating. I think we're going to need a rescue.
A 911 call put him in contact with the Jenny Lake climbing rangers, who were fortunately already gathered together that morning to do their periodic helicopter training. Clear, calm weather enabled them to soon spot the stricken climbers on that tiny ledge, hundreds of feet above icy Teton Glacier at an elevation over 12,000 feet. A second flight deposited 2 brave rangers at their side, and minutes later, one left with Jim, both of them dangling from a rope hundreds of feet below the helicopter. While Jim has no memory of this experience, Christian describes his subsequent 6-mile flight below the chopper as the greatest thrill ride of his life. Shortly after Christian's arrival at the staging area, Jim left in a medevac helicopter en route to the nearest trauma center in Idaho on the other side of the Teton mountain range. Met by a capable trauma team, he was quickly rushed to the scanner, where it was revealed that he had fractured numerous facial bones, separated his face from his skull, and lost most of the fluid his brain was supposed to be swimming in. A severe shoulder separation, first rib fractures on both sides, a spinal fracture, numerous lacerations, and what was later described by a hand surgeon as the worst wrist injury, completed the list of new challenges to Jim's health. Although Jim was talking the entire time, mostly repetitively thanking staff members, he has no memory of the subsequent 4 days in the ICU, waiting for the CSF leak resolve, nor even the 5-hour drive home. His wife, Katie, arrived at his side within a few hours, never left the hospital, and took over her care upon their return home. Over months, he has gradually returned to work and his usual activities, although the 3 times per day physical therapy regimen for his wrist continues. He is immensely thankful to be alive, functional, and granted a second lease on life. He is particularly grateful for the bravery and extensive education and training of his rescuers, physicians, and other professionals. Let's give a round of applause to your fellow White Coat investors who helped him return to us here at the Physicians Wellness and Financial Literacy Conference.